Hey folks, welcome in. Thank you for joining us here on the Sacramento Community Watch channel. We are simul streaming on not only Sacramento Community Watch, Reno News Now, and Xander the Educator's channel as well. Xander's trying to is having some technical problems tonight. He's going to try to join us with us shortly if he can, and I do believe Levi Audits is on the way as well. We wound up catching him. We're giving him a call and letting him know what's going on. So welcome in, folks. Thank you. All of our links are in the descriptions down below. So we got some updates here, folks. We're going to go ahead and start it off this time with court updates for housekeeping at this point. You agree, Chief?
Absolutely. Let's run this court updates.
Yeah, so court updates, as you know, we've been going, the way court works, folks, is, it goes back and forth. So we file an appeal, the city replies, and then we have a rebuttal, or Chief England has a rebuttal here. So his lawyer Mr. Edgerton wound up creating the rebuttal, and we do have it. He was kind enough to pass it along our way, and we did not have to pay money to that government cog known as the courts. So thank you, Mr. Edgerton. Greatly appreciate it. So this is the reply before it goes, before they go in front of a judge, and one of three things are going to happen, and we'll fill you in on that towards the end. So as you know, if you've watched our previous live streams, Mr. Edgerton gave like 5 key points as to why this should be overturned or sent back to a lower court. And the city came back with a very, very weak reply. So just, more family court BS, it's just, she's trying all these family court tactics. So, where it sits right now is we do have the reply. We got it, here on the screen with us. So, but thank you guys for joining in. Please like, share, and subscribe. So we're going to go ahead and cover that tonight. Let me get it up on my big screen here. So the headline to this is Memorandum of Points and Authorities. The first thing it says here is same issues, new framework. Same stuff, different sob story. No, I'm sorry. Same sob story. They're just trying to rephrase it in a different way. I'm sorry, folks. So it says here that the parties' briefs are not clear in conversation with one another, which is likely an outgrowth of the fact that they see this case in starkly different terms, which they do. For the city, this is a baseless appeal from a no-brainer conviction. Tony the Tyrant told the defendant, the chief, to respect a perimeter. Defendant did not comply, and therefore he was rightfully convicted of resisting an officer. For the defendant, this appeal is necessary to vindicate 2 bedrock principles of criminal law. First, that no person be convicted of a criminal offense except upon proof beyond a reasonable doubt as to each element of the crime. And second, that the enforcement of the general criminal statutes be calibrated to protect constitutional rights to free speech and freedom of the press. 2 starkly different points of view, folks. It really is. In raising numerous interlocking and overlapping issues on appeal, defendant seems to have made it difficult to follow each thread from end to end and distinguish questions of fact from questions of law. She really did. It was hard to go through her defense. It really was. Defendant hopes to clarify these threads by reframing the issues as though they were being put to a jury in a special verdict form. This has 2 benefits. First, it provides a logical structure for considering a series of cascading but also interrelated issues. Second, it clarifies numerous discrete determinations of law or fact that municipal court needed to make in order to render a valid guilty verdict. So basically what he's saying here is we're going to put this in as if we were putting this in a jury, being put to a jury in a special verdict form. So he's going to make this clean and clear that, a jury, people of, Mr. England's, Chief's peers, who's going to be in front of a jury, let's go ahead and put it in like we're explaining this to them,
Right.
Number 1, on the date of the alleged offense, was Tony the Tyrant a public officer? a quote-unquote public officer? Both parties agree that the answer to this is yes.
A tyrant.
Although he is at the date of the alleged offense, he was a public officer, but we hope in the future he gets reprimanded to where he's not.
Right. We don't need him out on the street. Sorry.
Nope. At the time of the altercation. Oh, where did I miss this? Oh, we had a... Oh. I apologize, folks. I still had my redactions on here. Okay, so we missed a footer here. Again, I apologize, folks. We gotta read these footers because, and you gotta catch me, Chief, because the second one is a banger. It says, as in appellant's opening brief, appellant continues to refer to himself primarily as defendant for simplicity. So sometimes, we're going to refer to both us as a defendant and them as a defendant because we're a defendant too, or Chief England is a defendant in this case because, ultimately it's his freedom on the line.
Right.
But they're also a defendant. So you guys got to keep that in mind too. They're a defendant too because we are the appellant in this case, trying to get an appeal from them. So they are against their ruling. So they are trying to defend that. So they're a defendant as well. Okay. So number 2, at the time of the altercation, was Officer Tony the Tyrant discharging or attempting to discharge any legal duties of his office? Well, what about that? So, according to Mr. Edgerton, it says the only competent evidence on this topic comes from Tony the Tyrant's own testimony. Tony the Tyrant's, quote, legal duty of his office, end quote, at the time was to investigate the ostensible recovery of Miss A's stolen vehicle. Now, folks, I started to redact her last name out of respect because she's been put through enough. She's been victimized by the courts and by the city of Reno enough. So we're just going to refer to her as either stolen car victim or Miss A. We're just going to do that from now on because I'm a nice guy and, we put her name out there. We put her name out there enough. We're done. So we're going to respect her right as a private citizen going forward. We don't blame her at all. As
she did lie in her report, though.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, she stretched it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Come on now. Let's not forget that.
Yeah, but she's one of those back the blue until it happens to her. So
yeah, boo-boo.
Boo-hoo, but we're gonna respect her privacy. Oh, it looks like Levi is here with us. Hey, Levi, how's it going?
Not much. How y'all doing?
Oh, doing good. So, how far have you come through for us so far?
I'm sorry.
How much have you caught of this so far?
I got here pretty quick in.
Okay, so I'm sorry if we didn't add you to the stage. You were kind of hidden on my scroll bar here. So,
No worries.
But thank you for joining us, folks. Again, check out Levi Audit's channel. Links are in the description. We'll throw them in the chat a little bit later here. So, as previously discussed, Tony the Tyrant was unable to take certain steps in his investigation of the stolen vehicle until backup arrived. Or B, Timothy returned with... I'm sorry, I should have redacted his name, but...
Oh, well.
T returned with Miss A's spare key. We'll try to do better in the future, folks. We're only human. But he also declined to take other investigatory actions over a 3-minute period, as he did nothing more than mill around waiting for a confrontation with Chief England. Where's
those fingers at?
Just, oh my gosh. And then,
the color of my skin?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Do you see the color that I am? Am I going to be famous too? You're going to put me on your YouTube video?
Yeah, we're going to put you on YouTube there, Tony the Tyrant. Yep.
Here he is.
By his own words, Tony the Tyrant was voluntarily not discharging those legal duties that he could, and he prevented from discharging others by circumstances that neither he nor the defendant could control. Thus, Tony the Tyrant was not discharging or attempting to discharge any legal duty at the time when the defendant approached him on the north side of 2nd Street and the perimeter dispute arose, which is true. All of a sudden, as soon as Chief England walked up there with his camera, folks, that's when he wanted to go into the car. Yeah. That's when he wanted to detain him. That's when he didn't want him behind him. That's when he came up with that bogus 21-foot rule.
Yeah, the courts are going to see that as well. And nobody's dumb. Come on. You waited until 3.5 minutes for me to walk up and across the crosswalk to all of a sudden start investigating a fucking raggedy-ass vehicle. That somebody flags you down for. Like, it's fucking butt crack, dude.
So point number 3 here. Did Chief resist, delay, or obstruct Tony the Tyrant's discharge of his legal duties? A. Obstructing. The parties agree that if the defendant had actively tried to thwart Tony the Tyrant's investigation, that he would have satisfied this element, and they seemingly agree that the defendant did not do so. Okay, and here is bullet point number 2 here, folks, and this is the banger. I mean, it takes up almost half the page here, folks, for a footnote.
Shout out to Edgerton, man.
Shout out to Edgerton. He's just gonna this is why sometimes, folks, you need to read the footnotes, because a lot of times they reference other trials and all this other case law, and it's just absolutely gobbledygook for the layman. But sometimes you get these tangents that are relevant and need to be pointed out, but you just can't put them up into there. So here we go. Bullet point 2. In its brief, the city asserts that the defendant wanted to be a hindrance. The city did not argue this at trial. Indeed, the city repeatedly emphasized that the defendant's intentions were unknown and therefore had to be presumed potentially harmful. You see your mistake there, Miss Schumann? I can point them out. Defendant proceeds on the assumption that this was rhetorical flourish and not a genuine assertion. For the first time on appeal, the defendant had specific intent to hinder Tony the Tyrant's investigation. Oh, but wait, it goes on. The city goes on contending that the defendant's only purpose in crossing the street to film Tony the Tyrant from closer up was to intentionally, willfully interfere, delay the investigation. Again, this is a position the city has adopted for the first time on appeal, folks. What family court BS is this, right? Additionally, this argument ignores 2 obvious alternate explanations. First, Tony the Tyrant had directed defendant to abandon his original filming position. If defendant was going to continue exercising his constitutionally protected right to film, he needed to reposition to a place where he knew he was not obstructed or too distant to be useful. Exactly. Again, he had to cross the street to get a better shot. It's what we do, folks. We're journalists.
Obviously. Come on now. Come on now.
Second, the nature of defendant's auditing work is to promote transparency. He could have reasonably concluded that Tony the Tyrant's directive to, quote, get out of the street was a pretext to suppress defendant's lawful filming activity, which it was. An imperative to suppress filming supports an interference that there was something to hide that warrants closer scrutiny. It does. Bravo. Bravo, Mr. Edgerton.
Yeah, that's exactly why I acted the way I did. That's why I reacted the way I did, crossing the street to get closer. Like, it's funny. In the beginning, I was telling the viewers that we've dealt with them before in the past and that he had a really bad attitude. So it only adds to it, the reason why I wanted to get closer and record him. So.
Oh, yeah. And go back and look in both Xander, the Educators, and Chief England's YouTube pages for Tony the Tyrant. or I'm going to Anthony Sotelo, Tony the Tyrant. That's his nickname here because he wanted to be.
Am I going to be famous too? You're going to put me on your YouTube video?
Yeah. And he doesn't know the color of law because he,
Do you see the color that I am?
yeah, color of law, and
Do you see the color that I am?
yeah, it makes no sense there, Tony the
Yeah.
Tyrant.
None.
See, here's the thing, law enforcement officer, know thy law. Quit hiding behind your qualified immunity. Oh my goodness. The dispute is whether the defendant's failure to acquiesce to Tony the Tyrant's perimeter orders construed resisting or delaying an officer. Part B, delaying.
Terrible.
Delaying could have only occurred if Tony the Tyrant had legal duties to discharge that could be delayed, as discussed supra. Assuming,
Supra.
yeah, as discussed supra.
Yeah.
Assuming for argumento is what it says, but assuming for argument is what it means, that Tony the Tyrant had such duties to discharge, the next question is whether any act or omission by defendant caused a delay in that discharge. This is the city's strongest argument because it is undisputed that Tony the Tyrant stopped doing whatever he was doing to
Notice the
confront
periods.
Yeah, the dot. I should have put it in there. Let me go back. This is the city's strongest argument because it is undisputed that Tony the Tyrant stopped doing dot whatever. And then there's, in my opinion, there should be 3 more dots. Dot.
Right.
He was doing to confront the defendant about the perimeter issue and then to decide to detain him within 30 seconds. He doesn't say that, but yeah, within 30 seconds. However, it is closer question to determine whether it was the defendant's conduct or Tony the Tyrant's choices that led to any such delay.
Exactly.
The parties agree that both individuals' subjective, again, keyword subjective state of mind is relevant to this determination. Necessary to that analysis is the question of whether Tony the Tyrant truly thought that the defendant might have some motive beyond filming and perhaps making fun of him. I'm sorry, it's one word I can't seem to pronounce tonight. Denigrating or making fun of him, like bald, rude, and disgusting, a tyrant, Tony the Tyrant, maybe,
Triple T.
You think you are such a badass individual that you come and sit in, oh, jeez.
Oh, you talking about his military gear that he?
Yeah, military gear when he was there on getting the transcript. And he had no reason to be there other than the prosecution at the time. Ms. Schumann said he had a vested personal interest. And why does he have a personal interest in this?
He doesn't even know. Hey, remember when the judge was looking towards the back? He was like, "Who's that shit back there?" And it was Sotelo. He was like, "Officer Sotelo."
And then after that court case, he had a what do they call it? I forget the legal term for it, but a private conversation with the defendant, or with the witness.
He sure did when we were leaving out.
Which is something that is quite honestly a no-no, but he's a judge. I'm not going to question him. I already filed a complaint on him. I'm not going to file a complaint on him for that. I mean, he talked to a cop. He has every right to talk to a cop. Yeah, we investigated ourselves, found no wrong.
Yeah, but what were they talking about, though? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. Apparently, that whole court case was not even recorded, so we couldn't even bring that to the public and shine that and put some sunshine on that. Oh, and by the way, during our transition to the video, we got some housekeeping down in Florida as well with Levi and a new bill that passed down that finally took effect in Florida at the beginning of the year for those bootlicking for the bootlicking tyrants. Oh, geez.
Yeah, that was bad, bro.
Yeah. Okay, where was I? Necessary to that analysis is the question of whether Tony the Tyrant truly thought defendant might have some motive beyond filming and agreeing. Okay, I read that. Okay, Tony the Tyrant predicted to Miss Anderson that, I forgot to redact her that, Miss A, that, quote, he's going to come over here and record them further. Tony the Tyrant had encountered defendant 6 weeks prior in a similar situation, even though he denied remembering that interaction when he again encountered the defendant.
So how did he know I was going to come over there and record them further?
Exactly.
How'd you know that? I mean,
and I'm sorry, law enforcement in general, your whole profession, you know what auditors are now.
Right.
We've been out there since COVID.
Right.
And if you don't know what we're doing, if somebody comes up, since George Floyd, and people with cell phone cameras, if you do not know what an auditor is, if you don't know when a bystander comes up with a camera that they're just going to record you, then you need to get out of the job. If you don't like it, I'm done.
Yep. Pet smart.
Didn't know what he was doing. You knew he was an auditor, and you think that we're just out to sue people. It's not the issue. We're not out there to. You put yourself into these situations, Tony the Tyrant. Just wait till this is overturned, and hopefully Miss Schumann has is willing to give a settlement right away if she loses this. But I seriously doubt it.
Yeah, he's not really handling this case with too much professionalism, if you ask me.
She's not.
Terrible. Her defense tactics are terrible, and she has no basis for any of it. She's just attempting to defend the tyrant, and she's lost for words.
JC News Now. Yeehaw! Welcome in. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, what's up, man? Thanks for joining us.
Crucially, Tony the Tyrant admitted at trial that his present sense impression was the defendant was, quote, one of those auditor guys. Yeah, he was one of those auditor guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's one of those tyrannical police officers.
So, yeah, if we're one of those auditor guys, you're one of those tyrants. Mm-hmm. Yes, you are. You congratulations, you are YouTube famous.
Donkey back.
And you are now forever Tony the Tyrant on YouTube.
Yeah, remember at that one stop we were at, he was like, "Hello, YouTube famous." I was like, "Oh man."
Oh yeah, Jason. Yeah, yeah. Chief England's one of those guys. Yep. Exactly.
I'm one of those guys.
One of those guys who throws a camera in a cop's face, apparently, And folks, there's a difference between. Oh. Folks, there's a difference between. There's a difference between putting a camera in a face, like this, and then they're having a camera out this far from somebody. You all know that.
Yeah. They put 10s on 20s all the time, like all the time.
10s on 20s, exactly.
Yep.
Get back into Stream Deck here. Okay, sorry. Defendant contends that no reasonable trier of fact could have determined that Tony the Tyrant generally feared that the defendant would do anything more than make fun of him on YouTube. And you're just making fun of yourself there, officer. This is a key determination because only if Tony the Tyrant harbored an authentic doubt about defendant's motives, he would have been potentially justified in enforcing a perimeter against Tony the Tyrant and no one else. And only then would Tony the Tyrant have been potentially justified in diverting energy from whatever, for argument, he was doing in advance of his investigation by immediately before the altercation. And only then, defendant's conduct have potentially contributed to a delay of affecting Tony the Tyrant's discharge of duties. Now he goes on to say, that is a long chain of if-then issues. I've seen a lot more chains of if-then issues in programming, folks. Oh my gosh. where the facts are, at best, muddled.
Super muddled. Cloudy as hell.
You're talking trapeze artist. Trapeze artist reach theirs, folks, you know. Type muddled. If a preponderance standard applied here, then the defendant could say little to assail the municipal court's determination. But the city's burden in this case was proof beyond a reasonable doubt. Again, you can't justify muddled content, folks. Proof beyond reasonable doubt. No trier of fact could have accepted that Tony the Tyrant thought the defendant was anything other than one of those obnoxious, quote, auditor types, and therefore, just shown, no such trier of fact could have found the defendant delayed Tony the Tyrant. And given that the municipal court left no meaningful step-by-step analysis for this court to review, the validity of that guilty verdict is even greater doubt. And that was all for delaying. That was just the delaying. Now here comes the resisting. Resisting. The final prong is resisting. The special verdict question here is, quote, did defendant resist by refusing to follow Tony the Tyrant's lawful command, end quote. Lawful command.
Did I, though?
Beginning with the sub-issue of refusal, defendant has maintained that the entire altercation with Tony the Tyrant unfolded so quickly that he did not have time to refuse the order. JC News now, prong. Prong. I'm sorry, I had to do a Beavis and Butthead there.
Yeah,
hey, welcome in, auditing Reno 911. Glad to have you aboard. Let us know if you want to join in.
Auditing Reno, what's up, man?
Yeah, glad to have you aboard. Thank you for coming on. So, but yeah, it was an unlawful command. It very well was.
Yeah, go check out the video, you guys. It's just stupid. He said, now you're gonna be detained, okay? Like, dude, what did I do?
Bro, the way like he locked on to you across the street hard.
He slammed me up against the glass, like with so much force. And I was just like, wow, crazy. Because I was recording you.
Yeah.
Wow.
The city characterized the defendant's conduct as barreling toward Tony the Tyrant and Miss A, claiming profanely that he can be wherever he wants on the sidewalk and disregarding 3 distinct commands. Defendant has raised as sufficiency the evidence, defendant has raised as a sufficiency of the evidence argument the question whether a reasonable trier of fact could have found that the enough time lapsed between Tony the Tyrant's initial, quote, stay back command and his decision to detain defendant for defendant to A, hear and process the command, B, raise and resolve clarifying questions about the justification for the commands.
Exactly.
And then C, willfully disobey them.
I'm in between time. We need to talk about why you think I should step back and what is the law and or ordinance code, whatever, you know.
Yeah, because as soon as he said, "Oh, it's a lawful order," my next question to lawful order is always going to be, "What's your definition of a lawful order, sir?"
Right.
Is it anything that comes out of your effing mouth?
Yeah, in court he didn't know.
In court, he had no clue what a lawful order was.
None.
He thought it was anything that came out of his tyrant mouth.
Yep.
Typical, man. Typical.
Because he's a law enforcement officer. Exactly, JC News. What law? What law does it say that he has to stay back 21 feet? There is none. It's all in your training, and your training failed you, Tony the Tyrant.
Terrible.
Just because you thought you were an officer, you thought you could bully people around, and that's not what your job is. Anywho. The next question is whether Tony the Tyrant's commands were lawful.
There it is,
Well,
right there.
Here it is. Defendant expressly and repeatedly asked Tony the Tyrant and municipal court to determine what constituted a lawful command or lawful order.
He has and look, it says the TR
And
is
Miss
transcript, right?
Schumann, what? Yeah, TRs are the transcripts.
For the courts, yeah, because they're going to hear it.
Those are the transcript links, about the lawful order. And again, Miss Schumann objected. Miss Schumann objected to a question to a law enforcement officer who gives quote unquote lawful orders what a lawful order was, because he was not a lawyer. Of course he's not a lawyer. He's a law enforcement officer. Law enforcement is in his title. He has to know the law in order to enforce it. Oh,
And she rejected, didn't she?
she objected. That's what she
Objection,
was
Your
doing.
Honor. Yeah.
Oh,
Terrible.
hey, Rurik, thank you for joining us from Europe. Holland, Amsterdam is watching. Thank you. We're international folks. Thank you for joining in.
Thank you so much for
Glad
joining.
to have us. Now, just to let you know, folks, we will ask you to like, share, and subscribe to all of our channels. We are streaming right now on Sacramento Community Watch, Reno News Now. I'm also known as the ADHD Auditor. We have Levi Audit with us. We have Xander the Educator. All of our links are down in the bottom in the description, folks. Feel free to get a link. Click on one of them. We'll put a link in the description. If you want to help us out in our causes, there's links below to Cash App as well. And we do super stickers and super chats on Sacramento Community Watch channel. So if you're on one of our other channels and you want to send us some love, head on over to Sacramento Community Watch and go ahead and send us some love and super chats there. So thank you so much, folks, for joining us. And we do cover super chats at the end of the night if we don't put you up on the screen beforehand. So, okay, so continuing on, the municipal court did not do so to determine whether or not it was a lawful command or a lawful order.
Nope.
This court could do that work instead. Defendants contend that a lawful order cannot require an impossibility, such as sprout wings and fly. Cannot be a lawful order. Neither can.
That's how Officer Sotelo gives his commands. It's anything he says, you have to do it. Do a cartwheel, scratch your butt.
It's funny here because neither can stop right there. When directed at a person some distance away who is already in motion,
Right.
and in almost every circumstances, that person will require some stopping distance,
Right.
which is not strictly compliant with stopping right there.
Exactly.
A lawful order cannot also be contrary to law. At trial, defendant offered an example, shoot that man. Tony the Tyrant was quick to reject that as a lawful order. But what about empty your pockets prior to a valid arrest? Or unlock your phone in the absence of a warrant or a warrant exception? Clear consensus has evolved that stop filming is not a lawful command under most circumstances.
Yep.
What about do not come any closer while filming? This last question is the crux of the case. How close is too close? And the municipal court declined to answer it even when expressly asked.
Absolutely.
Because the courts don't want to get into distance. Because as soon as they get into distance, as soon as they say, okay, 16 feet's okay, as soon as 10 feet's okay, it's precedent.
Yep.
And they don't want to set that precedent. And they haven't set the precedent. Precedent.
Okay. I was like, president. Wait a minute. I was trying to, keep up.
Not president of the United States, but precedent.
Precedent. Gotcha. Copy that.
They don't want to set that because so far the precedent that we have come up with in the auditing community is that Arizona 10-foot law. And we're going to get into more of that later on after this when we talk about what's going down in Florida with Levi.
Yeah, somebody we're gonna get that shit overturned. They got us.
Yeah.
And the best advice that I gave Levi is try not to challenge it. There are bigger fish in the sea that are going to try to go after it, like Long Island Audit.
Oh yeah.
Give them that crisp 25-foot distance, like right on the crisp,
Right.
like the cusp of it, and record. You know.
And that's one of the things that we told Levi is get good at trying to estimate 25 feet.
Mm-hmm.
Get better at it than the cops.
Just start doing First Amendment audits and going into the buildings. You know,
I mean, they're waiting for it, man. Like they've been talking about SB 184 for fucking like months now. Like talking about it. Like they're waiting to just like arrest.
Itchy trigger fingers, man. Itchy trigger fingers.
Mm-hmm. The officers been talking about it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Big time.
They're blood cracks.
I even saw a Long Island video.
Yeah,
like I don't know if one of y'all sent it to me. Somebody sent it to me, and I looked at it, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm a challenge y'all." Like, because the cops brought it up, they just started talking about it. Like,
someone's gonna challenge it.
It's unconstitutional, and what's sad about it is that the people that we elect, we expect them to, when a tyrant brings a bill like that up, we expect them to strike it down as quickly as possible, not strum it right through the legislature, like what happened. It's this whole concept of officer safety needs to be codified in some sort of law, and that's not a way to codify officer safety.
Yeah, it's getting out of control, to be honest.
Everything's about officer safety now. Everything.
Yeah.
This whole case is officer safety.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
I mean, that's all you hear in all the videos now. Like that's what you hear when you deal with them. Like, it's everywhere you go when it comes to the police now.
Back up, officer safety. It's an officer safety thing.
So
we got our videos.
So the one of the things that I was thinking of too is I've seen a lot of new videos where they're trying to pin down Pennsylvania versus Mims on the officer, where they are asking you out of the car for officer safety. So whenever they ask you to step out of the car, they're starting to ask, why are you ordering me out of the car? What's your reason for ordering me out of the car? If they don't expressly state officer safety, you go, well, sir, you can only order me out of the car for officer safety because of Pennsylvania versus Mims. Therefore, I do not feel comfortable getting out of the car. I don't see how, I mean, it's a good way to try to challenge it. But again, Pennsylvania versus Mims, folks, it's one of those things where if they tell you to get out of the car, you got to get out of the car. So it's just, again, trying to get them to say officer safety first or as the reason why they're pulling you out of the car. But eventually, if they threaten you with like breaking your window or stuff, I would recommend getting out of the car if they tell you to, folks. It's just, always follow the direction when you're in those sort of things, but have your phone and record. And if you have not, if you have not gotten it already, get Attorney Shield. So that way you have a lawyer in your pocket 24/7. We do not sponsor them. They do not sponsor us, but we do believe it is a great product and we urge you to get it at attorneyshield.com, folks. Not Legal Shield, Attorney Shield. Okay.
Yeah, moving on.
Moving on, getting back. Let's get back. Okay, so defendant makes 3 notes about the part of the analysis. First, a large portion of the proximity testimony is absent from the transcripts.
Why is that? Why?
The parties believe that the testimony was preserved in audio format that was inadvertently not delivered to the transcriber.
Why is that?
I don't know. The parties may...
Sister, what's wrong? What's going on? Why is stuff missing from the transcript?
Yeah. What did the judge? What did the judge or what did Miss Sotelo have anything? I got the court audio back twice. In working order, I believe. So how come we didn't get the full audio over? What happened? There needs to be an audit and investigation as to why that didn't happen.
Right.
And
they want us to be able to trust the city and the attorneys and their credibility in the courts. But look at this stuff missing.
Miss Schumann said the audio would be just fine. So apparently here, according to this, the parties may supplement the record in short order. Second, the defendant disputes the city's characters. Let's see.
I think we need to call in Inspector Gadget.
The parties believe that the testimony was inadvertently not okay. The parties may supplement the record in short order, meaning they may turn in the audio where it refers to what was left out.
Yeah, seems suspicious to me, a little sus.
Second, defendant disputes the city's characterization of Mr. Reno News Now. Hi, folks. Mr. Reno News Now's testimony that directs the court's attention to the portion of the transcript where the defense counsel and Mr. Reno News Now addressed what the city proffers as proof, quote unquote proof, that Mr. Reno News Now's measurements were quote unquote incorrect.
Stupid.
Auditing Reno 911. Next time, motion the court to record the proceeding. Yes, we had them record the proceedings. The motion for the transcripts, where the judge, we put in an ex parte. That was what it was. Ex parte. That was the term I was looking for. The judge and Tony the Tyrant had an ex parte communication after the transcription reports or the court happened. So anyways, we put in an ex parte motion, or Chief England or our side put in a motion to an ex parte motion to get these transcripts, which is normal practice, saying that, he was, we needed these transcripts to move forward with the appeal. And then the judge just goes off on a tangent and involves Ms. Schumann. And then we both, she was wanting to say, oh, the audio transcripts are good enough. Everything, we don't need to do all this. It's a waste of money and time, and he's guilty. So why even bother, So we had this thing in front of a judge, and that whole thing never got recorded, so we can't bring it to you folks. But yes, we have instructed, or Chief England has instructed his lawyer to please make sure that all the audios are recorded in the courtroom from here on out, because we want to make sure we bring this corruption, if there is any, to light.
Malicious prosecution at its finest.
Third, the city cannot rightly complain about Mr. Reno News Now's interest in the case and layperson skills when it vigorously opposed defendant's request for a modest allocation of funds to hire a disinterested person to reconstruct the scene. Yeah, I'd like to point out they never sent anybody out there themselves, such as from like a detective or anybody from the internal affairs department out there to measure these things too.
They could have sent animal control. I don't give a shit. Come on now. They could have
sent the city works engineer, for all I care.
Yep. They could have sent a parking meter and made whatever they're called. Send them.
Everything that they put in there was approximately and maybe and this, that, but they never even gave any concrete distance like we did when we videotaped our measurements.
Yep. With a measuring tape.
With a measuring tape. We did it as best we could as lay people. Thus, the municipal court did not decide whether Tony the Tyrant's perimeter orders were lawful or whether the defendant had any practical opportunity to comply with them, both determinations necessary to determine whether the defendant resisted, quote unquote, resisted Tony the Tyrant. Point 4. If defendant resisted, delayed, or obstructed Tony the Tyrant's investigation by coming too near, did the defendant intend that effect? Because the law says willfully delay, resist, or obstruct. But so does NRS 171.1233, which allows us to record it. It says we can't willfully delay or obstruct.
Right.
And if all we wanted to do is record, we have no intention to willfully delay or obstruct anybody. Come on, folks.
He was retaliating against me. That's why.
I believe so too.
Of course.
Yeah, it's just terrible.
That's what they like to do, man.
Love retaliating.
All time.
Up until its brief, the city never contended in any way that the defendant had a subjective desire to frustrate, thwart, impede, or otherwise affect Tony the Tyrant's investigation. This is relevant in a number of ways already discussed, including assessments of Tony the Tyrant's subjective and objective view of defendant's conduct and apparent motives, and the question whether defendant had the requisite time and clarity of communication to form an intent to disregard a facially valid command. Relatedly, the Wilson case, and they're just quoting it down here, looms over this appeal. Looms. I love that. Looms. You know. I thought that was a boom, boom, boom. I'm sorry. A possible application of that case to this one, which defendant again urges, is that the defendant could not have been validly convicted absent proof beyond reasonable doubt of his subjective intent to delay, obstruct, or resist Tony the Tyrant. The city is correct that Wilson does not speak directly to the statute at issue here, and both parties have offered arguments as to why Wilson's analysis should or should not carry over from NRS 197.190 to NRS 199.280.3. So again, interference with a public officer and resisting a public officer, two separate crimes in Nevada. That's what they're referring to. One is willfully delaying, resisting, or obstructing a public officer in the course of their duties, and the other one is physically getting involved in, trying to interfere with their duties. We believe that the resisting a public officer on its face is unconstitutionally valid because it gives too much subjective content to the officer and does not clearly state what it is that they have to be delaying, resisting, or restricting on. Again, this is a perfect case to get it struck down by the Supreme Court if they want to continue it that direction. It should be resisting arrest, but it's not, folks.
Wow.
There is no resisting arrest law in Nevada.
Nope.
Defendant urged the municipal court to resolve that issue in the first instance, but it declined to. The opportunity now passes to this court. The court might decide with the defendant on that issue or might agree with the city that the two statutes are apples and oranges. But the defendant respectfully urges that this court cannot dismiss the appeal before it without reaching the resolving question. So he quoted a few things down here. Okay, so at 4 here, he was talking about the two different differences of the law. It says, defendant does not find the city's discussion of Hibble versus 6th Judicial District Court, that's Hibble versus Nevada, instructive here. Mr. Hibble knew that he was disobeying an officer's command because he believed that it was unlawful. The lawfulness flowed from the constitutionality of NRS 171.123. Once that statute was upheld as constitutional, Mr. Hibble's conviction under NRS 199.280 followed even though he had only resisted by speaking or refusing to speak. Here there was no underlying statutory authority for Tony the Tyrant's arbitrary ad hoc perimeter enforced solely against the defendant. Further, defendant denies that he formed intent to disobey an order from Tony the Tyrant in the first instance. Tony the Tyrant detained defendant within seconds before any meaningful exchange of views had occurred. And then this 5th one here, it says, but defendant respectfully urges the court cannot dismiss this appeal without resolving before the question. He points out here, by contrast, this court could sustain the appeal on a number of other grounds without reaching that issue. So he's saying that there's enough evidence that we've provided that you shouldn't even have to do this in the first place because we've made such a strong argument up above.
Yeah. A long time ago, like years ago, it seems.
Conclusion, for the foregoing reasons, the defendant again urges the court to sustain his appeal and either order him acquitted on one of the proffered factual legal basis or else remand his case to the municipal court for further analysis or fact-finding. And signed, and then more court documents. So that's where we are at, folks. So that's where we're at. So now both parties may have to, add some more testimony because they have to go back and listen to the missing portions of the transcript. But
it's like Aaliyah, back back, forth and forward. You
You
probably
know,
don't know Leah. Never mind.
the judge may allow that, but the judge may go, oh, I have enough information here. I'm just going to go ahead and do
Dismiss.
that. Yeah, it might just throw out your conviction. So
Yeah, any judge that
That's
has
what-
a bit of, education is gonna see that this is just bananas.
So I want to point out a few things here, folks. What happens now is the judge is going to set a court date. They're going to have both of his attorney, or they're going to have both attorneys come in, Ms. Schumann and Mr. Edgerton come in. They're going to make their oral arguments in front of the judge whenever he sets the date, unless there's more court documents that go back and forth, and we'll be watching and seeing what happens. And then what's going to happen is one of three things. The first thing is they could go overturn the conviction and basically say, he's a free man and they were wrong. It was his First Amendment right to do what he was doing. And Tony the Tyrant violated NRS 171.1233, which they won't say that, but, we are.
Which is what he did do. He violated.
Which is what he did do. He violated and a few other laws there, folks. So, such as deprivation of rights under color of law, and not.
22,
The
absolutely.
that I am?
Exactly. That's an example.
So the second thing that could happen is they can remand it back down to a lower court to say, you need to figure out all these different things that we were talking about down here.
Do a little bit more of an investigation, a little bit more in due diligence, and figure this shit out and measure those distances.
Do your job like you were supposed to. And then the third thing that could happen is they could uphold the conviction, and then we would have to appeal to the full court, which at that point, we would have, our side would have to come up with money to try to help pay for lawyers and legal fees and try to get that thing appealed, because that's as far as Mr. Edgerton can go, apparently, contractually with the city. So we would love to keep him aboard, but we're hoping for the best. We're hoping for the best in this case, and it just gets tossed out, and Mr. Or Chief can walk a free man still, without that stupid stigma of resisting a public officer on his head.
Right.
So,
Reporting. Terrible.
So yeah, it's just terrible. So,
You guys do me a favor. Go check out that video, that arrest with Officer Sotelo. Go check out the video and let us know in the comment section what you think about the arrest.
Yep, exactly. Okay. So the other thing, doing a little bit of house cleanup, and we were kind of talking about it earlier, and Levi can talk more about this. Recently, Florida passed House Bill SB 117, I think is it? Was it? We can't hear you. We can't hear you, Levi.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, we can hear you now.
Okay, so it's SB 184 that was passed. It was passed.
Oh, SB 184.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it became first at the beginning of the year. So what wound up happening there, folks, is they passed this law that says that upon lawful command, you have to retreat 25 feet away from an officer.
Yeah, apparently they can enforce the fact that whether you have, your phone or a regular camera, doesn't matter. They could force you to stop too. I don't know how detailed that one goes as far as that, but that's something I actually read today, is that they could actually physically stop you.
So what will
from documenting, recording on your phone?
Yeah, a violation of our First Amendment, basically.
So and it's just sad how the Florida legislature can pass something like this, folks. We'll try to cover that next live stream, and we'll see if we can read the law and dive into details and nuances. We haven't had time to do that.
And I urge any auditor that's willing to challenge that to go challenge it. Literally.
Right.
Yeah, make sure if you do challenge it though, you got a lawyer right away, before you, and let people know that you're about to go do it, because
Well,
I've talked to Chili about it
I would
too.
challenge it like at the police department or something like that, or at some type
Yeah,
of legislate. You know,
yeah.
somebody who has dealings with that type of thing. But I wouldn't go directly out on a crime scene
No,
and then try to step beyond the 25-foot
no,
boundary. Yeah.
definitely not.
Yeah, and folks, we do know of some heavy hitters who are in Florida, and I think even like I said, Long Island Audit. I think maybe Accountability for All may be
Big
planning
Nick
trips
out
down
in
there.
Florida.
So
Big Nick
some
is
of the
big out there in Florida.
Big Nick, South Accountability, I think Rights Krispies is down there as well. So some of the heavier hitter auditors are going to be doing it. I know Levi and myself are not yet monetized, but we're doing our best to try to get those views in and get things up. But some of Levi's content might pivot to where he's going now and advocating for body cameras and making sure that these tyrants are being held more accountable. If they're not going to be held accountable by our cameras, they need to be held accountable by their cameras.
Right.
It's what needs to happen, because a lot of the local podunk backwater sheriff's departments and towns in his area are not having these cameras. And you would think by 2025, folks, it's 2025, you would and the way technology works today, where they can get cameras inside of glasses.
Yeah,
Cameras inside of glasses, folks. They have body worn cameras over their ears now too. They've got body worn cameras on their vest. There is no reason why any police department should not have a body worn camera in 2025, other than the fact that they are tyrant officers and they need to have a change in policies and procedures. They need to be held accountable.
What's going on out there in Florida?
Dude, there's no, when it comes to the body camera thing, it's actually worrisome, because like I'm in one of the biggest counties in Florida. Like, it's a lot of rural areas and country areas, and the sheriff's departments are like the big dogs around here. Like, they have like a huge force. They
Hold on,
shoot
you got it
people.
wrong.
The
if you
people
just are the big dogs. The people are the big dogs.
Yeah, facts. But
with the
like,
cat.
if you look at, he's all over TV and YouTube. Sheriff Grady. Like, if you just watch one or two of his clips, you'll be like, oh man, that's what this whole county is like. That nobody has body cameras. Like,
you talking about the Grady dude that looked like Bob Barker?
Yeah.
On The Price is Right. Oh,
yeah.
I think I've seen him a couple of times.
So basically, they have drones, like big, massive drones, small drones. They have tasers. They could afford these things. They do big drug busts, gun busts, and all that. They could afford it.
Oh, cops love cameras whenever they can use them as for their prosecution. But the moment that they have them on themselves for accountability, all bets are off.
Yeah, no. Even let's just say hypothetically that they can't afford it, man. I mean, they could go get a grant. There's other ways. I could probably help them find a grant. Like, it's not hard to find that type of information.
In my opinion, as much as I hate to state it, there needs to be a federal minimum standard on policing. And part of that federal minimum standard of policing is body-worn cameras where their mics cannot be muted.
Yeah.
And the policy for them getting money from the federal government for those body cams, and the government shouldn't be handing it over freely, but the minimum standard should be that the mute button is disabled. Everything gets recorded, and they cannot turn off that body cam until they clear the scene with dispatch. That should be the reason why. As soon as you get on the scene, it comes on. It does not come off. It does not mute for anything until you call into dispatch. I've cleared the scene.
But they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that.
Of course not. I
mean, can we really honestly think that Reno police is going to do something like that, or Sacramento Sheriff's Department? No, dude. They commit crimes and they run and hide. That's what they do. Commit crimes and run and hide behind the badge and the uniform, and they stay hidden in the caves.
Yeah. All they got is that gun and that badge, bro. Like, I mean, and I know we all call them out on that too. Like, that's all you got.
That's why they think they can boss you around so aggressively. Like, get back, move, dude. Get back up, and they walk all and get all in your face without the gun, the badge, and all that.
Just the
It'll never happen.
aggressiveness. I mean, the unlawful directives are enough, but
Yeah.
then you got the aggressiveness and that like intimidation behind it. It's just like, come on, man, like just relax.
Now, folks, I do.
The little 3-foot officers, right? They're like 3 foot. They're
it's
like
like
at
the
your
small
kneecap
man
level.
complex.
Now, folks, we do like to point out that we do respect law enforcement. Again, not
absolutely.
cops, not tyrants. Again, folks, I want to point out, law enforcement officers know, understand, and respect the rule of law and the Constitution. Once you get past that, you run into cops. The people who there is no such a thing as a cop. A cop is a fictitious thing created by Hollywood.
Movies.
Okay. Movies. There's nowhere in law where they refer to law enforcement officer as a cop. So if you got a cop out there going, oh, I'm TV cop,
Reno 911, right?
Reno 911, for example, that type of cop, exactly. So then the next step up, folks, is just a tyrant, and it just pig and then jackboot thug pig and it keeps going and going and going, depending on how bad you are. So again, folks, we want to point out that we love and respect law enforcement. We understand that you have a hard job, but we want you to do your job lawfully. Know thy law, officer.
I mean, I like to run into the good ones. Like, it's just like they're so far and few in between, but there are some actual like real good ones. Like, I mean,
and folks, I pointed this out to Chief the other day. If you haven't watched it already, go over to Accountability for All, AFA, Josh Abrams' channel, and view what happened to him. He wound up patting down an officer for citizen safety. It was so funny, and it was a continuation of the other one that I sent you, Levi, with the look of shock of face on the shock Pikachu face on the chief of police when Josh said he was still he recorded him. So it's just go check out that saga, folks. It's really funny. So, but I think it's time that we get on to our main presentation here, folks.
Yeah.
So let me go ahead and present my screen here. The first person we are going to be sharing with you folks tonight is Kate Kidman's channel.
Katie Kidman.
Katie Kidman's channel. If you haven't done so already, like, share, and subscribe to her content, folks.
Wait a minute. You haven't been subscribed to Katie?
I've never heard of this auditor before. No,
you're going to be demoted.
I'm demoted. So, and then, folks, this is going to be the video we're going to be seeing tonight. It's Happy New Year, Granny. I'm going to go ahead and like it right now while we're at it here. But let me go ahead and pull it up on our screen here, and let's go ahead and get into it.
Hello?
Are you a friend of anybody here? Neighbors?
I don't answer questions, and don't bang on my van.
Don't park in my neighborhood.
I can park right.
No,
this
can't.
is not.
Wow, this already just started off. Just what is going on here?
and who does he think he is? Like, who is this guy? Like, I mean,
Power Ranger.
I'll be right back.
Copy that.
Your street.
No.
Yes.
No.
Where are you from?
I live in this house.
Are you American?
Yeah, come on.
What do you have, a gun in your hand?
Give me that crap.
You-
I'll video your ass too.
You can go.
I'll
Don't
call
come over here and bang on my van, and don't tell me where to park, Jack.
Okay, you're clearly trying to use the law to your advantage, which I can do as well. This is Nolita. This is not This is not city. This will be treated different. I'll have the cops out.
No,
here
it won't
in
be.
half
This
an
is a
hour.
public street right here.
No, you
I'm
need to
parked.
leave.
I'm parked legally, and I'm not going anywhere.
Bullshit.
Okay? So let me just follow you and see where you live.
Oh, some sort of wannabe HOA Darren.
oh yeah, that makes sense. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that's definitely a HOA type attitude right there. Like,
Is that a PlayStation he has on? Look like PlayStation.
I don't know what is going on right now, to be honest.
Oh no, it looks like a polo
I
shirt.
thought it was PlayStation. No, that looks like place. I said the hat.
Oh, the hat? No, it looks like it's an anchor. I got another shot of him over on this screen. It looks like it's an anchor and some sort of name on top of it.
It looks like PlayStation.
It does, huh?
Yep.
All right? You want to come out here and bother me on a public street that I paid for? I paid for this street.
Me thinking
All right?
show that to the
I
police.
paid
I'll
for
do
it.
the same thing.
I pay my
Get
taxes,
the fuck out of here.
and I can park
I'll
wherever
make
I
it
want to
miserable
park.
for you.
I'll make
Get
it
the fuck outta
miserable
here.
for you, you freaking weirdo.
weirdo in
I'll
my
make it-
fucking neighborhood.
I'll make it miserable for you. You touch me. Go ahead.
You're
And he bowed
clearly
up.
have been doing this.
Dude, how much of a man are you running
he-
up to some older
That's a beta.
woman?
Like that's a straight up beta
Wow.
right there.
He must have been law enforcement, prior law enforcement.
But he'd be
Hey,
just popping off like with some weird type of attitude. Like I don't
Yeah.
understand it.
Hey, Chief, I'm going to be stepping out for a second. Apparently, the little ones went out real quick, so I'm still listening, but I'm going to step away for a few.
All right. Hey, Ruby.
That's Sky.
All right, you look the same. Damn.
Yeah.
Before by videoing me. I'm gonna have a neighbor come
Let's see
out
where you live.
right now. Just stay right there, you.
What a bully, man. I hope you don't have any kids, bully boy. Is this where you live?
I'm gonna get a witness here.
I need a witness. You're the one attacking me.
Exactly. Get him,
This is where he
Katie.
lives. Here, let's get his license plate numbers and stuff.
Man, he bowed up too. He bowed up and like
You live here? Or are you going to somebody else's house? You don't come up to somebody and attack them
No, I did not.
and try to tell them where to park.
Family neighborhood, and you can't be here.
I can be wherever I want. This is America, and you need to learn that you don't violate people's rights and come up there and attack me and try to grab my camera equipment
Did not grab.
and tell me what the law is around here.
Terrible.
I need him.
Terrible human.
If you want to live in a private neighborhood, you need to go live in a gated community where you have a guard
Ma'am.
and a gate that goes
Why don't
up
you
and
do
down.
yourself a
But you can't
favor?
afford it, can
Why don't
you?
you do yourself?
Yep.
Why don't you do
Find
yourself a
another
favor?
neighborhood.
Why don't you do yourself a favor and stop trying to tell people what to do?
All right. How about that?
What would you do if you lived in a neighborhood with kids and a homeless person was parked in your neighborhood and you don't know if that person
You need
is going
Jesus,
to steal from
dude.
you or not?
You need Jesus. First of all, you don't judge me
Man,
and sit here and call me homeless.
Yes, you are, bro.
Why are you parked in Camp?
It's none of your business. None.
Why do you have this
whatsoever.
flash torch on?
I might happen to be on a job here, and I'm taking a break until the new year
Yeah,
for
you're parked
tonight,
in my
and I can
neighborhood.
park anywhere. This is not your neighborhood. This is
Clearly
a
you've done
public
this before.
street
You'll probably
in a
post
public
this.
neighborhood, and I will.
You'll probably post this.
So you
and
want to
I'm-
tell
I'm
the
fine
American
with
people
that.
here
Can you
your name?
Witness this for me. So
This guy
woman
attacked
is
me.
camp- No, this.
He-
This woman.
I'm
is
over
camped.
here for the new year, and this guy comes up here and bangs on my
Tell
van
her not to park in our neighborhood. She's filming
on a
me
public
to
street.
prove Something.
Is this your
And I'm
neighbor?
telling her she can't.
He's looking at dude like,
what?
did you really bring this bullshit to my door?
Yeah,
Man,
that's
if you
like,
don't get your go-go Power Ranger looking ass away from my door, dude.
like
that
why
is-
is he going to another grown ass man for help too? When
Yeah.
when you're like, I'm confused with this dude in general. Like,
Can you document this? No, dude.
like
You're stupid. You're
like,
dumb.
Help! I need someone! Help! I need anyone! Help!
Yeah, that's exactly how he's acting. But he
911,
has
please
some
call
attitude.
911.
He needs Officer Doofy.
Exactly. Responding. Code 4. Stupid,
He-
dude.
it's crazy. He actually like kind of like bowed up like at that lady. Like he was gonna actually
Yes.
beat up on her.
Super aggressive. Like, he was going to mollywop her, like, wop, wop.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
like,
what I'm saying. Like,
This Darren reminds me of the Karen that lives down my street who thinks that because a couple of rednecks moved, or I shouldn't say rednecks, I'm sorry, they're good guys, but, you know, some good old boys moved in next door, you know, across the couple houses across the street from her. And she thinks that they're bringing down her home value because they're out there, you know, wrenching on cars and stuff, you know, and doing just things that normal everyday people do, you know. And she's, we've had the sheriff come out and all kinds of stuff. It's just nuts, but
he's just that type of dude. His attitude alone, you just want to like back him across the face. To be honest.
So what I'm guessing here is this is in probably a city or a community of some sort where there's probably an HOA and he's probably part of it somehow.
This is
Yeah.
California. I'm ashamed to say that this is my state.
Well, and there's probably the HOA has city streets in it, so there's again, it's not a gated community, but there's still like an HOA or something like that. I ran across them in St. Louis,
I would have slammed the door in his face and be like, dude.
But again, they think they run the entire neighborhood, and they're just most of these HOA people are nothing but nosy busybodies. If you've ever read the Reddit on HOAs or HOA hell, it's just like, oh my God, what are some people thinking?
That is true.
I ain't the door.
Tyrants come in all shapes and forms, folks. They even exist in HOAs.
Oh
Yep. Let's keep it moving.
Park here. She needs to leave. Do the right thing and leave. I'm asking you.
You do the right thing and stop trying to tell people where they can park and where they can't park.
Right.
We'll call the cops. Yeah.
I can park here for 72 hours.
And I'm not.
Oh, here's
this
my
guy.
witness. Okay.
Please video
Your
him as
witness?
well.
Look at these un-American
You need to
freaking.
leave because we're calling the police.
Go call them right now. I'm going to wait right here.
This is all on rings.
Yeah.
I'm going to wait right here. That's.
Lady, don't nobody care about your little cheap ring doorbell that you bought at the Dollar Tree.
What kind of crap is that?
Yeah, I got Ring doorbell. Hey, I got Ring products. They're good. They're good products. Don't this Ring.
Yeah.
Although her Ring camera, looking at it, looks like one of the older models. I got a Pro. Come on, folks. You gotta get the good stuff.
Look, that's crazy. I can't believe that they even.
And now we got a male Karen. Now he engaged and got Karen to join in. So now there's two Karens. Like, oh man,
It's a Karens on parade.
Hey, the Three Stooges right here. The Three Stooges.
You guys are paranoid, man.
I tapped on her car and told her
He banged on it.
someplace else.
He didn't tap on it.
I'm un-American.
Yeah.
And that I need to find Jesus. And
Yeah.
that she should. I can't tell her not to be.
He got his phone.
So I've come over here just to make sure.
We need to take a chill pill.
I'm not abusing
You're
you.
a real-
I'm merely asking you to do the right thing and leave.
Do the right thing.
What are you?
Right.
You need to get
Who the hell
right,
are
I'm
you?
calling the police right now.
Play Miss Swan on that one again.
No, yeah, okay. Who the hell are you?
Who the hell are you? Seriously.
To take a chill pill.
Take a chill pill,
Kiss your
bozo.
mother with the mouth.
he really acts like he owns the whole neighborhood.
Yep.
He does.
In his brain, he does. I swear.
He's probably the HOA manager, and he thinks he runs this place with an iron fist. And
Look at his sunglasses. Though. Super
That's
cheap.
what I was thinking too in the
Super
beginning.
cheap.
I was like,
Super cheap,
you got the
babe.
sunglasses. We all know the ones
Go
with
ahead.
sunglasses are the ones too. Like they're
Yep.
the ones that like stand out like with that attitude too.
Yep. Absolutely.
I can't wait till they get here.
Yeah, video me all you want.
I am. You don't even know who I am and what I'm doing here. You come up to my van, and you're just going to find yourself all over the internet for being an idiot.
That's fine.
For coming over here to an American woman that's paid my taxes all my life.
You're in a
I can
family-
park wherever I want.
Neighborhood parked here.
This is
during
what you
holidays.
teach your kids? This is family?
You're in a neighborhood with kids and family.
Oh, boot your
We
neighborhood.
don't
Really?
want people parking.
That's how you treat your kids that you can attack?
Wow.
he thinks that there's a bunch of PDF files around.
Right.
Shoot.
There's PDF files that are in parked in cars on the side of their street.
And oh my God, too privileged. Oh my God. Like I'm so.
Very much his attitude, yeah.
Hey, I got now. I got to take a bio break. I'll be right back, folks.
All right.
Man, he's like
You can
definitely
attack the
neighbor
lady
watch type guy.
Exactly.
that's parked over here.
Guess what? We're community watch. Biatch.
Yeah, there is.
On your door is not a
Now you're going over here. Look at these guys. Happy New Year, huh?
Mob.
To these little
Dumb
pussy
and
boys
dumber.
over here that have to attack a woman that's
Right.
sitting over here.
These grown-ass men.
ring, and you videoed it as well.
Look at them.
Stupid.
Very stupid.
Yeah, I'm videoing it. Look at this guy.
Embarrassment.
This big giant dude here.
Embarrassment.
They're calling the police on a 65-year-old grandma that's only been parked here for like 15 minutes.
Man, he had to go get back up for an
Camped?
old lady.
Yeah.
What's your definition? Do you see a camp?
You need to-
Where's my propane stove, my umbrella, my sleeping
Where's the
bag?
rest of the camp?
You know
'Cause
what,
that's not
dude?
much of a camp.
There's a place for you in hell.
There's not much of a camp. There's no barbecue or no propane tank, no wiring, and
Right.
no TP, no tent. I mean, come on now, dude, they're tripping.
Yeah, he's tripping hard.
H-E-L-L with a capital H for judging people and standing out here being a fool. That's what you are. Here's the other one.
Goldberg.
Un-American.
My door got knocked by a neighbor.
That's Goldberg from wrestling right there, y'all.
This woman is like harassing the neighbor.
How-
It's
Wait a
harassment.
minute. How is she
Harass-
harassed?
Like what?
Oh
the?
man, that's terrible. That's terrible right there.
Now we got a
And
even
illegal.
bigger liar.
Yep, and illegal.
Yeah, he's giving misinformation to the police.
Yeah, that's crazy. Butt crack.
She's trying
Big
to
time.
park her van here and sleep here. And
That's
Filing
a lie.
a false police
Those
report.
are both lies. I just got
Yeah.
here. These guys came out here and banged on my van.
I didn't bang on anything.
I banged on
That
your
guy
van
did.
and asked
You could tell he was paying attention to what she said because he responded to what she said instead of listening to dispatch. He was like, I didn't bang on anything. Yeah, you sound guilty, Baldy.
He is guilty. he's lying.
Terrible, man.
And here,
Bad for the
pro tip for anybody who doesn't want to be recorded by a camera: retreat to privacy. Don't get in
Exactly.
front of the camera. Don't keep agitating the person that's in behind the camera. You go if you don't want to be recorded and you don't want to be on film. Go run to privacy. Go run into your home and then cry like a little baby.
And that's how it is though. Like all the people that don't want to be on camera, it's like they got
Hey, Jim,
like,
thank
right
you.
up in it. Like I just don't get it.
if you knew,
These guys are
I asked
harassing
you
me.
If you knew anybody here and why you were parked here.
It's none of your
And you said,
business
"It's
who
none
I
of
know
my
here.
business and it's America and you can park in my park.
That's right. That's exactly right.
And you can camp here.
I know
because
the
it's
law.
America, correct? Okay.
Wow, what a judgmental piece of crap, dude. Judging me.
So camping
Are you a man or a
requires
woman?
like an overnight stay. If he was only, I believe her where she says I've only been here 15 minutes. He hasn't said how long she's been there, and all of a sudden she's camping.
Yeah, he doesn't seem like he knows a whole lot of anything about what's actually going on there. He's just complaining.
He's trying to reach for the moon, and he's failing to even reach past his freaking nose.
looking like a failed golfer.
Big time. Big time.
Oh, I can't wait to get on my little dinghy that I call a yacht.
Yeah, he got that prissy like I'm entitled attitude.
Mm-hmm. I'm a part of the golf club. Like, so? And I have a Sam's Club card. So? Mine's just diamond. You like, dude, for real? Who cares?
I'm surprised he don't have his shades on, trying to be that guy that's like just standing there like all cool looking.
This little Power Ranger, go watch.
Because really,
I won't dignify.
in this day and age, the way you're acting, I would say you're missing something down here.
Oh, shit.
Right down here.
Shots
That's how I
fired.
look.
Stop
I don't
it.
see anything.
Stop
Shots
it.
fired.
Stop it, lady.
I don't see anything
Stop
down
it,
there.
lady.
No cojones on this one.
You need to take a chill pill.
Lady.
We
No.
need to take a
Comes
chill
out here and
pill.
bangs on my van. I've been here 10, 15 minutes. And this, I don't know, she-woman type of guy here
Who the hell are you?
can't handle it.
Right.
I paid for this street. All right?
He's
And men, real men don't wear shorts. And this guy, look at him.
Man, he's
Did
still
you just
on the
get
phone.
this outfit for Christmas? Because I would definitely not.
What was that?
she is clowning, bro.
She's
She is
clowning hard.
Go back on that a little bit. Oh, shit. Eddie, you are hilarious, sister.
Real men don't wear shorts. And this guy, look at him. Did you just get this outfit for Christmas? Because I would definitely not wear it out anywhere.
Oh shit!
And he's calling the
Shots
police.
fired.
He's on the phone with the police.
Bang
Isn't this
bang.
weird?
Hey, bing,
Very
bing,
strange.
bing,
Let
bing,
me
bing.
pause it.
Clearly not the first.
What was that?
No, I was saying she was like bing, 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 bing.
No, I thought Levi asked me to pause it.
Oh no! I didn't say nothing.
Oh, okay. Must have heard must have been somebody in the conversation.
You've been to this.
Clearly, you're not the first jackass I've run into
Oh,
that doesn't know that
Bro,
this
she
is
got-
America and not North Korea,
Oh.
Russia, or, Hitler territory.
looks stupid
Where
because
you can
that's
come out here and judge
absolutely
people
100%
and tell them
correct.
where to park.
Bro.
And the
He
police
asked
will be
for-
coming out
he
here to
asked for
let
this
you know
phone.
exactly that too.
He
let's
asked for
just
this
wait for him.
interaction. Look at him.
So you can get educated and waste all of our time.
Man, he's still on the phone.
They're not
We've had problems in the past. Save us from the girl with the camera.
Like, how extended can this conversation be?
I
Like,
know it's just going on and on and on, and I'm upset that the dispatch is even on the phone. Like, sir, if
right,
you don't have a real crime, not much we can do. Bye. What the fuck?
right. He's probably throwing all sorts of lies though in there that it's like,
Yeah.
he's just dragging it on.
The dispatcher probably fell asleep. She's like,
Right.
That's another group of people that need to learn the law is dispatchers.
yeah, they man,
They ask some stupid questions too, man. Let me
they
tell
just
you.
some regular call center rats. That's what dispatchers are. Call center rats. Thank you for calling.
1-800 call a cop.
Thank you for calling T-Mobile. You be like, what? I mean, dispatch. You be like, oh hell no.
Oh, if they could get away with it and save money, they would probably dispatch their dispatch center to India if they could.
No, yeah. Oh yeah,
Oh,
hell
God.
yeah.
Oh, that would be horrible.
I don't want anybody to see what did your head. Yeah.
What is your address?
not feelings enforcement, they're law enforcement. Are you getting your feelings hurt, little boy?
Right.
Bro.
Ooh. Nice one.
You need to
Bro,
move into a
she's
gated
throwing
community.
shots.
Oh, don't send the feelings enforcement. Send the ambulance.
Right.
Where you have a guard and a gate and a
Yep.
key code
Yep.
and a place where you can act like a little baby in baby diapers. Oh, that's gotta hurt. This is not the right
Absolutely.
neighborhood for you.
Hey, I'll be
Where I
right
can
back.
drive right in and park right in front of your house.
Oh, lady. Please,
Okay,
please
little
stop.
baby boy,
Please stop.
go get your mommy.
If you want her to stop, go retreat into your home where you in privacy and leave her the hell alone.
Well, look
Plain
how
and simple.
awkward
You brought this upon yourself. Uh-oh.
He just looks awkward too. Like, just look at him. I mean,
Look at this guy giving them a description of a 65-year-old grandma standing out in the middle of the road on a public street. How embarrassing. You're a crybaby and a little baby.
Just go somewhere where you're wanted.
I'm wanted here. I'm wanted everywhere. I'm wanted in a lot more places than you two little pussy boys. I am. I'm waiting for the cops to see if they'll come over here and wipe your asses. Ass number one
yeah.
to the right, and ass number two on the left. A couple of fucking clowns. Need to go get a job in the fucking circus.
Okay.
Luckily for me, I'm not married to either one of you.
Right.
And you're not the father to any of my children.
Tell him, sister. Tell him. Look, he got his cheerleading jacket.
Man,
He's done.
They
His burgundy
retaliated.
cheerleading.
They
He said-
retaliated.
It's over. Yeah, it is.
The dispatch probably told him it's like nothing illegal is going on there. Just retreat into your house, leave her alone, and that's probably what they're doing at this point.
Yep.
Yeah, they retaliated.
Yep. With his cheerleading jacket. He got that jacket yesterday from the biggest cheerleader at this high school.
Now he's gonna go hide in this other man's house because he's scared.
Hey, look, he's wondering, why are you still following me, dude?
Right.
Why are you still, well, okay, this is over with, you. Get away from me.
Or my grandchildren. Because I wouldn't want them to learn anything from you.
Right.
Big facts.
Low-life little babies with nothing to do on New Year's Eve. Except call the police on somebody that's not breaking the law. I guess he lives over here. He lives over here. No, I'm waiting for him. I'm not a little pussy boy like you.
Oh yeah,
that runs away.
Who are you?
I don't appreciate people like you that try to change my country around and take away our freedoms that you think you're entitled.
Right.
And you're a piece of shit. That's what you are.
That's
squirrel dude.
That was awesome.
Hey, there's another part of when the police showed up, though.
What was that?
There's another part of when the police showed up. I'm surprised that didn't show in there. It must be.
That would be interesting. I bet. I mean, all they really said is like she ain't doing nothing wrong.
Was that that had to have been the wrong video?
That was the end of the video. That was her latest one, I think. Oops, let me go back a page.
It was entitled that though. Remember, I put the title name of it.
Hold on, let me share my screen.
At least.
Let me add that to the stage.
I like her attitude, though.
Oh, that was part one. So there's a part. So there's a part two.
Yep. Yep. It said meet Darren, right? Yep, that's the one. See
Yeah,
how he walked up. He waved.
And that cowboy hat and everything?
Yeah, we got a cowboy.
Something. Is everything okay?
Well, you should talk to the guy that called you. I think he might need some cojones.
We make it bigger?
Because he doesn't.
Okay.
I've been over here, parked here for 15 minutes.
Okay.
10, 15 minutes. He obviously lives in that house right there.
Okay.
And he thinks he owns the street.
Okay.
Okay.
And I'm trying to explain to him that
Mating call of a tyrant, folks.
Right,
Okay. 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 I need that button on my StreamYard, Mr. Mackey. Okay.
I'm American.
Yeah, so it's either okay or like they just, yeah.
Yeah, they're nonchalant. They don't give a shit. They don't care. Disdain for the public. Disrespectful cunts. Yeah.
They just want you to shut up and keep it moving.
Yep.
And Levi, do you know the mating call when you know that they're really really Randy?
What's
you know
that?
what?
Which one?
I need to see ID.
Oh, yeah. I call it.
You got ID on you?
ID.
Yep.
When the mating call of a tyrant when they're really Randy, it's I need to see some ID.
Hey man, you got ID on you?
That ID crack.
You got
man,
ID?
like, it gives them that extra power up here, you know.
I need that ID. I need that ID.
Damn.
But if he wants to live in a gated community, he needs to move to one. Because when I came in here, I didn't see a guard gate. And
There's not a
so,
guard gate.
so I pay for these streets with my tax dollars my
Right.
whole life. And I told him that.
Bam.
And I'm paying for you to come out here.
Mm-hmm.
And he's wasting money, taxpayer money, on you, Officer Friedman.
Yeah, that happens. You
Friedman?
get a lot of silly calls.
Yeah,
They shouldn't
that,
happen.
right? On New Year's Eve.
So you're all good?
Yeah, I mean, I went over there to ask her, like, what's the deal here? I've been here
Are you
10,
good,
15
Texas
minutes.
Walker,
This guy
Texas
comes over
Ranger?
here and bangs on my van. And then he calls you. He should be charged
Yep.
for making a false police call, a false
Yep.
police report. There's no
Especially that
crime being
big dude.
broken.
Yep.
The one who actually called.
He could have just stayed inside, and then he came out and got involved and lied and
Yep. Did you
Called
hear
the
him?
cops.
He said,
Yeah,
okay.
right.
He got an advanced nightstick there. There wouldn't with that handle. What the hell?
Yeah, he went
Shake
old
it.
school. He went old
That's the
school.
samurai. That's the samurai nightstick.
Shake it once, it's fine. Shake it twice, it's okay. Shake
That's
it
like
3
that
times.
old school shit.
When I was at the department, we had a collapsible baton that you hit up against the concrete.
Yeah,
25 inch.
you have to like bang that shit back
Yeah.
down. Yeah,
Yeah, collapsible.
those are
That's what we
good
were
though.
used to.
Nope.
Yeah, those are good.
I like them.
Those? Nah, I don't know.
That's like the old school like beat down stick that you see like
Yep.
in the movies and shit.
And being a cowboy.
That too. That is a cowboy right there.
Yep.
For sure.
A funky one.
Yeah, he is a
No
little
crime
funky.
being committed,
Hang on.
no law
Hang
being
on.
broken.
Can I talk for a sec?
Sure.
Okay. We get called all the time to check on things that may or may not be suspicious.
For stupid
And
things.
That's just something we do. It's a public service. You know, we don't perfectly efficiently get utilized, and that's just the nature of law enforcement. So I
Okay.
came out here to
Yeah.
check.
Well, I agree with him on all that. You know, you can't help but daring calling into police officers because they don't understand the law themselves. But
Yeah. Well, hopefully he explains it. Those two need talking to.
and hope so far he's doing very good.
No, he's on point.
On things and see if anything weird was going on. Doesn't look like.
So you came out here.
Are you in need of any assistance or anything? Man?
No, are you feelings enforcement or law enforcement?
I'm
Because I've been here in Santa Barbara for like 2 days now, and you're the second officers that's been called out on me for being parked on a public sidewalk,
public
and so-
street, but yeah,
public street.
yeah.
And so I don't see a sign here that says I can't park. There's nothing here that said I couldn't come in here and park.
Yeah, you're
And-
absolutely correct. There's no,
And so I don't know why the
no-
name.
Oh, he's on point so far.
Yeah, no, he's spitting facts.
Now, let's see if he's addicted to that ID cookie.
Oh, he needs to be. He needs to at least talk to them. Like, come on.
Well, no. Let's see if he asks her for the ID cookie.
Oh, they always do. They want to know. They want to find a reason to arrest anybody.
Well, no. So far, he doesn't seem like that to me.
Yeah, he doesn't throw that energy out at all. So hopefully he just goes and gives a talking to those two dudes.
Yeah, and tell them to get their heads out of their rear ends.
Yeah, they need.
There's
They
no
need
laws
to
And then
chill.
you got
breaking
another
by
one
being
over
parked
here.
man.
What?
There's no laws you're breaking by being parked here. You're not going to see signs that say you're not allowed to park here. So we get calls for service, and we're going to come,
Yeah.
respond and see what's going on and make sure things are okay. Okay, I don't.
So
think
you're the
breaking law.
sheriff, right?
How's it?
I'm a sheriff's deputy, man.
My thing is, why didn't the dispatcher relate most of this information to them? So they're not
They're
rolling up,
stupid.
not knowing what's going on. I mean, I'm so
They're stupid. They're stupid. Like I mean, not all of them, but like they have this like pattern. A lot of them where they just they ask a variety of the same questions over and over again.
right.
Well, and then what happens is you get somebody on the line on the call, giving them a lot of information, and they're having to put it into the computer, and then they're having to relay it to an officer, and what they relay to an officer is just a little bit of information, such as a suspicious person.
Yeah.
They're called out there for a suspicious person. That's all they know at this point. That was parked out here on the street legally. That that whole conversation that happened with the 911 operator or whoever he called, or non-emergency or even.
Yeah.
None of that gets relayed to the officer real time.
Yeah.
And are these deputies? These are deputies. Right?
Yeah.
And they're
That's a
driving
deputy.
black and whites. That's kind of weird.
Yeah.
It is kind
have
of
a
weird,
vote
huh?
badge number?
Usually it's not like that.
Usually it's city officers that drive black and white vehicles.
Yeah. Usually it's the city. Yeah.
Wow.
Interesting. Let's keep going.
Yeah, 4776.
And what's your name and badge number, Lopez?
I'm Deputy Lopez, badge number 5784.
Oh my God. Are you ready for?
Look at his mustache. Oh my God. What kind of mustache is that?
He got like
Kind of looks like mine.
Kind of, but his looks like more old school OG like style. Like
It looks like the Time Wizard from Yu-Gi-Oh! Mustache. It looks like little arrows.
yeah, huh? It does.
What
Look,
is that?
he's covering up his tattoos on the other side. As you can see, he got the sleeve on.
7:25. That's the time. 7:25.
Wow.
That's the time on his mustache. 7:25.
Some photos or? Anyway, this to me is a complete. See, I'm actually document government officials and stuff. That's my. I've been here documenting some. That's what I do for a living. So these people calling you guys on me and you actually coming out here, the two of you.
We come out for all kinds of things. That's what I was explaining to you. So.
Yeah, this is something that I need to document and record because you shouldn't be.
Okay.
You shouldn't be. It's a waste of time. There's
is a
no
waste of
law
time,
has been
but
broken.
hang on.
No crime has been committed.
Okay, ma'am.
Right?
We don't know what's going on until we come. All right.
So, yeah, but when they call,
That is true.
can't you ask this guy what did she do
Right.
that's causing you alarm? Has she,
Right.
And this goes back again to dispatch knowing the law. They're part of law enforcement. You call them when the law is being broken. They should know the law.
Yeah.
Because-
If there's no law being broken when they call, they shouldn't dispatch police. Like every call should not be investigated. That's stupid as hell. It's dumb. And I made a mistake. Sacramento County Sheriff's Department also has black and white vehicles. Go ahead.
So I want to point out too, going back to the dispatch conversation, when I lived in Reno, the last place that I lived was like right behind a library. And one night, like middle of the night, like 10:30 past, the noise ordinance when that began, they had a carpet cleaner out there cleaning the carpets at the library. And I called non-emergency and I go, look, you guys are violating your own noise ordinance. And they told me, it's like, well, there is no noise ordinance.
That's what Reno police told you that?
That's what the dispatch told us. Yeah, there's no noise ordinance. And then, well, at least that's what they told Mr. News Now. Because I think he's the one who actually called in non-emergency on it. Because if I'm not calling them, I don't want to call them. But I went and looked at it later. I was like, well, yeah, there is a noise ordinance, and they were violating it. But again, the He-Man Government Club don't want to take their own laws into account.
Nope.
But
Also,
yeah,
not for me.
Again, I understand. They think they have a duty to respond to every call and make sure that nothing's going on. But again, I agree with her that dispatch should have at least some inkling to know that, this is just a stupid, petty domestic dispute with no argument. No threats have been made. Nothing's going on. It's just a Darren calling. They should know. She's doing nothing wrong. There's no crime. You haven't said what she's doing.
Yep.
Well, there's no telling what that one fool was saying on the phone. That bigger dude, like he could have been lying and saying some other stuff too. Though I actually like.
Come on, go over.
One of the probable questions that they ask is, does the person have a gun that And it's like, I don't know, he might.
Does she have a gun? Does she have nunchucks, firecrackers? I don't know. Shit, a Pokemon?
A BFG from Doom. BFG 9000 from Doom,
She broken into your house? Did she throw a rock through your window? Did she come after you? Or did you actually go after her? Did you come out of your house, this guy, bang on her van when I was in there writing, because I have to write for the stories that I do. I have to do a lot of writing. He just disrupted my whole entire situation here. And it's wrong. So
disorderly conduct.
Because I want to hear what he has to say.
I don't have to stand there and talk to you, cowboy.
Oh.
He said, ma'am, why don't you just stand over here and talk to me? Stupid.
She's not detained. She said there was no law being committed or law being broken.
He put his cheerleader jacket on.
Oh man.
And he's going, she set up camp here. She set up camp. Again, where's the propane stove? Where's the sleeping bag, the tent? Where's this camping equipment that he's talking about?
Yeah, they're just harassing Katie.
At this point, he's causing disorderly conduct. He's harassing her. It's harassment.
Him wearing that cheerleader jacket is harassment.
Oh! They called the fashion police. That's who they called, the fashion police.
Oh no, but
that jacket looked terrible.
So this clown
tripping hard.
Anyway,
So
Anyway.
she had set up camp, and I asked, and I said, "Are you a friend of anybody here?"
Do you
I
see a
said,
propane
"No,
tank
she's
or
in
set up?
Bohemia,
Right.
North
I've been here 10, 15 minutes. This guy's nuts.
It doesn't really matter. Look,
It does matter.
you see,
It absolutely does matter. I'm an American citizen. I have rights.
you sure do.
And you have no right. He had no right to come up here and bang on my van and then call you. And then both of you two come out here and talk to him and me as if I owe you some kind of
I
explanation
don't
or
think I've done
conversation.
anything like that, ma'am. In all fairness, I asked you if you needed any assistance, right?
What kind of assistance would I need?
I don't know, but that was one of my first
Absolutely
questions, right?
none. If I needed some, I'd go find some.
Okay.
I'm
But-
65 years old. I've been taking care of myself my whole life without you,
Can I finish?
without any of you men.
Can I finish, please?
Go
Okay.
ahead.
So I already explained to you. We got a call. Wasn't really clear what was going on. Came out.
I'm glad he knows that she's in control.
Yeah, no, he's pretty on point for the most part. It seems like,
The most, all I've heard is a bunch of cops complaining.
Yep.
You know,
there's a lot of that, but at least he's not one of those ones that's like,
Yeah,
well, I need to see your ID for documentation purposes.
He didn't reach tyrannical yet. He didn't reach tyrant yet.
Yeah,
So,
he's more on the chill level compared to most.
This is a good example of a law enforcement officer so far, folks. Mind you, we're about got about 2/3 of the way through the video so far. So, I mean, this is a good law enforcement officer, although he does cop-splain a lot.
I said hello to you. I've not been rude to you. I asked you if you needed any assistance and explained to you sort of what the call was that we got and why I came out here. I don't think that's unreasonable. I even sort of opined that it was kind of a silly thing. Are you even listening to me?
I can listen to you both.
Okay, well, if you're not going to listen to me, I'm going to leave.
You can go. You're dismissed.
exactly. Now you're doing too much.
He's dismissed.
I think we're done here.
Wow.
Darren gets nothing. Bum bum bum.
With that cheerleader jacket on. You do.
No law's been broken. You just wasted their time and money.
Right.
So why don't you apologize to these guys?
He looks like he's
Well, I do. Because as
guilty.
soon as
Yeah,
You're not wasting our time. It was a quiet day, and we decided to come out here and just, because we had nothing better to do. We had no other crimes, like a rape victim to go try to, or go around and finding anybody on our warrant list. It's not like we were just hiding in some bushes somewhere waiting for speeders.
just stupid.
Had nothing better to do.
Yeah, he's just looking for problems.
Yeah, the whole call was stupid. He'd been out there since the sun's been up. Now it's already down. Stupid.
Yeah.
Wasted time.
The other guy knew he was a Darren. The other sheriff knew he was a Darren. It's like this whole thing is stupid. We don't need to be here. This guy just complaining because he's a Darren.
Yeah, where's the other dude at? I seen him on the scene.
The other sheriff was basically going, okay, if you don't want to listen to my cops complaining, I'm out of here.
Yeah, he said peace out.
If you don't want to hear me try to explain, then I'm just going to leave. Yeah.
I get what he was trying to do. He was trying to justify his reason for even coming out there. I mean, I get it. Yeah. Cops should respond to every call. It's a thing, but again, there should be some meaning behind it. And you shouldn't, people like this guy who call 911 for no reason should be ticketed and made examples of. Right. And they shouldn't let him slide by.
With his Katy Perry jumpsuit.
Yeah,
because I keep mentioning this a lot when we watch these videos, folks. You should never call 911 unless your house is burning down, there's a medical emergency, like when my husband had a stroke, or whenever there's a crime actually being committed and you know the details behind that crime.
Yeah.
Or somebody's life is in danger. Those are the times that you call 911. Right. You don't call 911 because there's somebody in your neighborhood who looks suspicious. Folks, that's not what 911's for. Use non-emergency if you want to make those kind of complaints, and if they have time, they'll send an officer. But when you call 911 for BS like this, you just tie them up completely.
Yeah.
Because
And
when
more-
you call 911, they can, or when you call non-emergency, they can go ahead and get your information and have an officer call you, and you can talk to an officer and verify these things with them without
when
having
you
them
answer a
actually come
series of
out.
questions and stuff, investigatory questions and stuff like.
Yeah.
Do you see a weapon on her? Is she knocking over trash cans and stuff like that? Like, come on.
You don't call 911 for things like this, folks. It's just, yeah.
Especially not a cheerleader jacket. Never call 911 in a cheerleader jacket. No.
Especially around an auditor.
Find out that you guys are. How much money do you make?
Ooh.
There's no law has been. These guys are going to lose their jobs because my videos are going to prove that they're.
Now you're saying stop.
Okay, so you just helped the new administration to clean out some of this riffraff. Unfair. It was unfair that you.
She has more rights than I do. No, sir, you don't understand your rights. You don't understand your rights, and because you don't understand your rights and where your rights go and how your rights work, doesn't mean anything.
These are the type of people that are wrong with America. They don't know enough, or they're uneducated in so many areas, especially with the law. And it's just like, go to China or something, like where you don't have these laws, because it's like they just can't comprehend, like, even the First Amendment.
Adios.
Your rights don't end where other people's feelings begin, folks. And the rights don't work between two people. That's not how rights work. Rights are between you and the government. It's what the government's the cuffs that are put on the government from doing things. The First Amendment is there to protect our rights and to handcuff the government for our execution of freedom of speech, the grievances with our government, the freedom to assemble, the freedom of religion, and the freedom of press. We give those freedoms and it cuffs the government. If the government does anything wrong and breaks those rights, then guess what? The government pays. She doesn't have more rights than you do. You just don't understand your rights, sir.
You called. It's unfair that you came out here and did this to all of us.
Her First Amendment right.
To him, and me.
Hey, now he sounds like somebody's grandma. Would you please stop talking?
Right.
Like, all of a sudden you're tone. Now you're in New York. And now it's like, would you please stop talking? Like, what?
I love these officers. Oh my gosh, I love these officers because he just said it's like my presence here is making this worse.
Right.
Yeah. He don't even want to be there.
No, he doesn't. You can tell he's like, dude.
He's just ready to bounce.
He's like, I'm ready to get up out of here. This is stupid.
For real.
Professional, you.
Look, he gone. He just said it again.
It. You started it. What do I do? You started it.
Right.
There was nothing to do to begin with. Go back in your house.
Bye.
Stay on your own doorstep.
Oh, now he getting escorted away.
Yelling at you.
Don't you think what she's doing is wrong?
And he knows he can't do anything about that.
No, not a thing.
What are those?
Oh my God.
What shoes is
Back
he
the blue
pushing?
till it happens to you, little bootlicker. You're the one that's wrong.
Oh, bootlicker.
I know. She's clearly. She knows what she's doing. She's videoing us.
Oh, he got them Tonkas on.
That's the first. That's the first truth. That's the first. That's the first truthful statement that he said, is that she clearly knows what she's doing.
Right.
That's the first truthful statement that he's came out of his mouth. Clearly knows what she's doing. Apparently, because you don't know what you're doing. Thank you for admitting that.
It looked like the deputy threatening him up under his voice. I'm putting his breath like, just go to the fucking house, dude. I'm taking you to jail. Just go, man.
I mean, he already expressed like she ain't doing nothing wrong. Like they all have expressed that very clearly.
Yeah, and these guys apparently are not addicted to the ID cookie.
Yeah, no, they're not. They haven't asked not once.
They just want to get out of there, bro.
They want a 10-8 and go back to pirating the highway.
Yeah, they're
Right.
trying to bounce like ASAP.
Pump it.
I've done
Well,
nothing wrong.
we'll let my subscribers decide if you've done something wrong or not.
Right. He wore that sweater, that jacket.
We'll let my subscribers know if you're in the wrong or not.
Pump it.
Oh, I hope that's not your husband. Oh my God. Have a happy New Year, sir.
Bro, shots fired
Yeah.
consistent.
Bang, bang.
Would have been a lot nicer had these guys over here not called, but
Santa Barbara County Sheriff.
nice
Bro,
makeup.
Kudos.
he's happy
Eye
now.
makeup and
Kudos, though.
face makeup
Yeah.
and all of that.
You know he's happy to be gone.
Hey, Tony the Tyrant, this is an example of a good police officer. We know you're watching.
Learn it. Learn it.
There
Hey,
they go.
Officer Ghetto, too. Ghetto. Learn it.
Can't do
Yeah,
anything.
need some professionalism around
It's a
here.
public sidewalk.
Oh, and if you guys heard that walk of shame audio, it was for the Darren,
Happy
not
New
the
Year, you
police.
all. Ta-ta. Leave a comment. This guy that lives up here in this house, he thinks he's entitled.
I like her attitude.
Yeah, she does
The
awesome
whole
work.
neighborhood belongs to him because
You
he
love
lives in
Katie.
this house
She's
right here.
awesome.
So
Funny
he
as
calls
hell.
the police.
Oh, big time.
He was parked in my
Somebody that's been
backyard.
parked
She was
here
parked
for
in my
15
yard.
minutes.
She be getting their ass together, like,
All
without
the
even
way
trying.
around the corner from his
The
house.
police didn't even want to even
I'm not
intervene.
even
They was
parked
like,
in front of his house.
Nope.
Now that would be one thing. I'm parked
Right?
all the way over there.
Right? Look
And
at
this
that.
guy
God, he embarrassed
comes
his whole
out of his
family.
house.
Oh, yeah.
You know, some people
And his neighbor.
Yeah,
think they're
called
all
him out.
entitled.
His wife didn't even let him come back outside.
I
Right.
mean, they think they own the street. This one and that one.
Man, she exposing them balls. Exposing
Yep.
them big time. Big time.
That's what they
Unbelievable.
get.
Leave me a comment.
Wow. Shout out to Katie Kidman. You guys slide over to her channel, like, share, and subscribe, hands down, and put up them notifications so you guys don't miss any of her content.
Hit
As you
that
can
like
see,
button.
she does awesome work.
Yeah, we subscribe to her actually, and do us a favor and also set that bell to all, so that way you know whenever she gets new content out there and know when she gets new stuff out. I'm definitely going to do that. So let's go ahead and it's been about, we're at the 2-hour mark. Do you want to keep going with our second featured one?
How long is the video? It's like
let me add it to the stage here.
it's 29 minutes.
Yeah, it's 37 minutes. So yeah, we'll save that one for next time.
Yep.
I'm not
Yeah, that's an awesome video too.
wanting
bro.
to go another a 30-minute video.
How's my ass taste? Said boring. Somebody get rid of that.
I can't even find that comment. Where did that comment? Where?
It's gone. Neutralized.
Okay. Neutralized. Okay, we neutralized it. Oh, it was on my channel. Yeah, let's go ahead and
shout out to everybody who stuck
we're gonna-
with us and listen to us jabber here. We appreciate
and thank you folks for joining us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It doesn't look like there was any super chats tonight, but we do thank you for all you guys' support.
We love you guys anyway.
And we
Super
love you
chat,
guys
always
anyways.
love.
Yeah.
We appreciate the love and support. Hold on, how you do that shit? Oh, there you go. Hey.
There's that, or there's this.
That looks like
So,
you're trying to load up a bear claw donut.
But just to also give a little bit of update, folks, I know at the beginning of our last live stream, I told you about how my husband had a stroke and mentioned it earlier today. I want to let people know that he is in the rehabilitation hospital. He is doing wonderfully, fantastically well. We are so proud of the accomplishments that he's making, and he looks like he'll be home with me on Wednesday. So we can't wait to see you better. And thank you for all the well wishes that everybody gave. Anything else anybody want to cover before we head out of here tonight?
No, I am good to go. I actually have a couple other things I got to do. So, But we appreciate you guys for joining us. We
Yep.
appreciate the love and support. Thank you for joining the Sacramento Community Watch, Levi and Jacob here.
Yep, and don't forget that all of our links are in the descriptions below. Feel free to reach out, like, share, and subscribe. To all of our channels, and we will catch you on the next live stream. Have a nice one, guys.